Today we're going to look at 3, 2 again, but this time we're going to look at the elimination method. So 3, 2, day 2, we want to put in your notes, and we're going to use the elimination method. Alright, so let's look at this example. 2x plus 6y equals 17. 4x minus 20y equals 18. So our goal with the elimination method is to make one variable, so either the x's or the y's have the same coefficient, but with different signs. Okay, so first, notice that the x's, the y's, and the constants are all lined up. That was kind of nice of them. Now look at the y's. 6 and 20 don't have a number that I can multiply 6 by to make it 20, so that would be a little bit harder. But if we look at the the x's that have a 2 and a 4, all I need to do is take the top equation and multiply everything by -2. That'll make this first x become -4x. Everybody else has to change because of the x, so this will become a -12y and a -34. So here, we had to do it because we wanted to make it a 4, and more importantly, we wanted to make it a -4 because we have to make one variable have the same coefficient with different signs. So this was a 2 and this was a 4, so if I multiply this by -2, it makes it a -4. And then the rest of them are just kind of casualties of that. So that's how we get the -12 and the -34. So we no longer need this top equation. So we pretty much just ignore them and we only focus on these two equations here. The second step is then to add the equations together. Alright? So I'm going to rewrite the two equations. 4x minus 20y equals 18. -4x minus 12y equals -34. So we're going to have 4 and -4 make 0. So that's why it's called the elimination method, because we eliminate one of the variables. And then we add these two together and we get -32y equals, here the signs are different, so we subtract. Keep the sign of the bigger number. So we're going to get -16. Divide both sides by -32. Reduce our fraction, and we get +1/2. So now we take our 1/2 and we plug them in either to the top equation or to the bottom equation. Doesn't matter which one. I'm just going to pick the top equation. So I'm going to have 4x minus 20, and then instead of writing y, I'm going to put 1/2 equals 18. Now I'm just going to simplify. So 4x, 20 times 1/2 is 10, equals 18. Add 10 to both sides. 4x equals 28. Divide by 4, and x is equal to 7. So write our answers in ordered pair. X comes first, y goes second, and that is our answer using elimination. So let's look at an example where we have to multiply both equations by a different number. So let's look at 2x plus 5y equals 14, and then 3x minus 2y equals -36. So in this equation, remember that our first step is to have one variable have the same coefficient with different signs. So we already have the different signs part down with the y's. So we just need to make them have the same number. So if I multiply this top equation by 2, that'll make a positive 10, and if I multiply the second equation by 5, that'll make a negative 10. So if I rewrite this, I'm going to take every single thing in the top equation by 2. We're going to get 4x plus 10y equals 28. I'm going to take everything in the bottom equation by 5. That's going to make 15x minus 10y equals negative 180. So now remember that the second step is to add the two equations together. If we did this right, one of the variables should cancel out, and we can see that the 10s, positive 10 and negative 10, make 0, so they cancel out. If we did it wrong, that wouldn't happen. We'd have to go back and recheck our work. So 4x plus 15x is 19x equals 180 minus 28. We're going to get negative 152. Divide both sides by 19. And we get x equals negative 8. So we take this variable and we substitute it into any of these equations. And I'm just going to go ahead and substitute it into the top equation in white. So we're going to have 2 parentheses, negative 8 plus 5y equals 14. So notice the white part here looks exactly the same as down here, except for where the x was, I put the negative 8 in his place. So we're going to go ahead and simplify. So negative 16 plus 5y equals 14. Add 16 to both sides, and we get 5y equals 30. So y equals 6. So again, remember we write our answer in an ordered pair. X comes first, y goes second. If you can do those two problems, you got a pretty good handle on this section.